feel like we have to start with this Lynx Mercury game, though.
Yeah.
Don't we? Like, gosh, how ready are you for 3 more games of Alyssa Thomas versus Napheesa Collier?
I want like 11 more games. I had, just before these series started, I had both games going 5, and I had the Aces and the Lynx winning both, but like in overtime in game 5. Like that's how I'm picturing these playing out. So I really needed this comeback, because I was thinking to myself, like, I hope I didn't fall for this Mercury team just because they were up against a little bit lackluster Liberty squad. But no, they're the real deal. And I absolutely loved this game. One of my favorite games that I've watched the W in a long time.
So good. So good. So Minnesota starts off just doing classic Minnesota things, right? And then Nate Tibbetts really gets into the Phoenix Mercury at halftime, and they surmount a 20-point deficit against a team that doesn't even give up 10-point leads. This is the first time in the season that they've been up 10 and lost a game. And there were a lot of different factors involved. I feel like it was kind of a tale of 2 halves, really, for them. It was kind of a similar story in game 1, but more the flip side, where like the Mercury kind of fell apart in the second half. This time, they really turned it on in the second half, and I feel like we have to start with Alyssa Thomas, who had 19 points, 13 assists, 8 rebounds.
Just another day in the office.
Theatrics.
Yeah, just another day in the office for Alyssa Thomas.
For sure. The almost triple-double. She's the queen of the almost triple-double. I respect for not chasing, I guess, right? But a lot of what she did came in crunch time, right? Like, this was a game where she actually really struggled in the first half. I kind of, just watching her, it was a little bit of an uncharacteristic performance where she looked a little bit out of sorts. Like, she starts off the game, she's like one of the best ball handling bigs in the WNBA, and she's kind of bungling the ball a little bit. She's a little bit passive. There's like moments where you're seeing her get frustrated, and it was kind of, frankly, confusing. I actually tweeted, and I got my first WNBA freezing cold take out of this. But I basically just said, look, like, I love watching her play, but there are times when it feels like she expects her genius alone to win her big games, and that's just not how the playoff works. I will say, by the way, even this critique, I said I love watching her play, and I called her a genius. But she kind of, she was having one of those halves where it felt like a little bit passive. It felt like the Mercury offense wasn't really running through her. She had a couple of cross-court passes. There's one that was really bad that Courtney Williams picked off. And Courtney Williams had a great first half, and then the whole game flipped, and it kind of reversed.
Yeah, I think with Alyssa Thomas, she's one of the most like unconventional basketball players out there. And I know, there was a heated MVP discussion all season long, mostly between A'ja Wilson and Napheesa Collier. And then I saw a lot of people a lot of media voters that put Alyssa Thomas as one of their top 2, get a lot of flack for that. Like, because I think if you just watch clips of her, if you just look at the box score even, you don't get her genius. You don't get like how it is that she's impacting games. And it's in countless ways. It's literally in countless ways. There were so many moments down the stretch. And one of my favorite things to do, this is like a huge basketball nerd moment, but like when a team blows a 20-point lead, I don't care what the team is. I don't care if it's the Los Angeles Sparks versus the Washington Mystics in the last game of the regular season. I love going back and rewatching how it happened and basically seeing like what are all the little like balls that had to bounce and rebounds that had to be secured for that to happen. And I did that for yesterday's game. And it's like Alyssa Thomas has her hands all over this one, whether it's like people are not going to remember that she grabs the offensive rebound that finds Sammy Whitcomb for the game time 3, but it's just, she's always in the right spot at the right time. She's getting underneath people's skin. I think the fact that she was kind of an aggravator yesterday bodes well for her. It does not bode as well for Napheesa Collier, who
aggravator perpetually.
Yeah, right. So she it's hard to overstate her impact. And I think if anything, it will never fully be captured by the public eye just because of how unconventional her playing style, her personality is.
Aggravation, physicality, that's the sandbox that Alyssa Thomas wants to play in, right? And it's not necessarily the sandbox that Napheesa Collier wants to play in. And we saw them kind of come to a head, right? Like, I think it was like 4 minutes left in the game. Alyssa's backing her down. And look, the thing is, Napheesa Collier is an incredibly strong player. I don't think people always realize that about her when they just look at her, right? And her style is very, it's more of like that, the fast pace, like always kind of moving, very soft touch. Look, Alyssa Thomas struggled when she was trying to back down Napheesa Collier, right? The shots that she made a push shot with 25 seconds left to go in the game because she couldn't get all the way to the rim against Napheesa Collier. There were times in the first half where she faded against her. There was another free throw line jumper that she made. And it's kind of to your point, right? Like when you talk about that push shot. Well, the thing with Alyssa Thomas is she's got 2 torn labrums that she's never had surgically repaired. So that's just going to be how she shoots for the rest of her career. But it's kind of like the Joakim Noah tornado shot where it looks really strange, but it totally works. And if you know about the Alyssa Thomas lore, it actually just kind of like adds to the mystique at a certain point. But she starts hitting that shot. But it's all kind of on the outside until we see Alyssa Thomas. Basically, at that moment, I feel like when they got into it, they didn't really even get into it because Napheesa Collier doesn't get into it. Napheesa Collier does the opposite thing where she's like, I'm not going to get angry. I'm going to let you get angry and I'm going to take advantage of it, which certainly works for her most of the time. It wasn't that day, but I think it's just going to be really funny to watch this whole dynamic play out, right? Like it's like Draymond Green versus the Dalai Lama. Like one of these, like we're just going to have something like completely non-reactive the whole time. But Alyssa Thomas, like she came like number 1, I think, in the athletic poll for like number 1 trash talkers in the WNBA. And players would talk about how she'll like smile while she's talking shit. And like she had a smile on her face throughout the rest of the game after that. And that's when she really, really, just turned it on. Like she had a DHO fake hezzy that she just didn't do for the whole game, but she can do. Like it's just like one of her favorite things to do that she didn't do until like overtime. She got the offensive rebound. She was all over crunch time.
Yeah, you can tell that she's having a good time and that she's talking a lot of trash, and we don't know what she's saying, and it's not
Maybe she said happy birthday.
Right. And it's not the Draymond Green that's like about to fight you all the time. Like it's more subdued than that, but in a way it almost seems more impactful because she can kind of get away with it and it's almost like under her breath a little bit. So the number one thing that I think when I'm watching Alyssa Thomas play, and I was particularly thinking this in game 3 versus the Liberty, is like, man, am I glad to be sitting on my couch and not on the court right now against her. Like it looks so unappealing to have to try to slow that down. And like, obviously they call her the engine, probably one of the most like accurate to form nicknames in basketball, because truly like the way that she relies on her strength and her power and her ability to kind of just ram through her defender is so unique that I don't know how you go from guarding a player like Napheesa Collier or Nneka Ogwumike, like all these great forward centers in the WNBA, and then somehow, and then one night you're playing the Phoenix Mercury, and now you're going up against Alyssa Thomas, and it's completely different stylistically. So it is such a cheat code. It's why the Phoenix Mercury have been kind of hard to define all season long, and at their best, like I think this is a championship team. And I don't know, there's 4 teams remaining and all of them have their own unique wrinkles and kind of what makes them potential candidates here. But last night I was like, I see the vision that I think I made a lot of us believe and get excited about this Phoenix Mercury squad. And it all kind of came together in that second half.